Hello my loves, welcome back. Today's practice is all about the shoulders and the arms and the upper back in eagle pose. So great practice for really working on shoulder mobility and stretching through the arms and upper back. And for this practice you will need a yoga block. So let's begin by lying back with the knees bent and the feet on the floor. The feet around hip distance apart here. Just close the eyes and take a moment to notice where your shoulders connect to the floor. Do they feel elevated away from the floor? Does one feel more lifted away from the floor than the other? Do you feel any sensation of tightness or pulling along the chest or the front of the shoulders? As you notice that, then let's take that information, store it away, and start then by taking a little bit of arch and flatten here away from the floor. As you inhale and creating space between the lower back and the floor, exhaling and drawing that space down, reducing. And as you move here, then I just want you to start to incorporate a little bit of shoulder and arm movement. So the next time that you inhale and you create space between the lower back and the floor, the arms are going to reach up and then back behind you. As you exhale, the arms will come back up and then down to the sides. Inhale, reach up and back. Exhale, releasing back down to the sides. And I'd like you to notice a couple of things. How do the shoulders feel? Quite often there's one shoulder that feels a little bit more crunchy, a little bit of tension more than the other. As you do a couple more then, I'd also like you to notice is, as you reach back, does one hand connect to the floor before the other? Does one hand and arm have more connection to the floor? Or does one perhaps feel like it's reaching further back behind you towards the back wall? Do one more here. And then release back down and rest. Separate the feet then as wide as your mat and let the arms open nice and wide. Let the knees just sway a little from side to side. Get a little movement into the hips here. As the knees come into center, rest them. And I want you to think about the arms. So reach up and around and give yourself a big hug. And then reach up and around and open back out. Now this time as you reach up and out, can the other arm come on top and give yourself a big hug? And then reach back around. And do that a couple of times, changing the arm that's on top. The next one will be your last one. All right, find your block. Take the block up and reach it towards the ceiling. The palms either side of your block. Now keeping the elbows above the shoulders here, I want you to bend the elbows and point the block towards the wall behind you. Extend the arms and reach the block back up. Do that a couple more times. And the next time that you bend the elbows and the block points back, stay there. From here, I want you to keep the elbows bent, but from the shoulder, reach the block back. Now the block might touch the floor, it might not, either way is fine. And then bring it back. Now this is a small move. We do that a couple of times. Next time that you reach back, that will be your last one. And then release. Take the block to one side. Take again a couple of little hugs and release. And then hug the knees into the chest. Roll yourself over and come up and over onto your hands and your knees. So what I want you to do is find your hands and your knees, but sit back into child's pose. Now you can have your knees separated kind of wide here, but rest the forehead on the floor. As your forehead connects to something, bring the hands to the back of the head. You'll feel the elbows towards the floor. Lift the elbows up and then reconnect them back down. Lift them up, reconnect. Do a couple here. Notice if one elbow feels like it lifts more away from the floor. And the next time that you release the elbows back down, take a pause. Reach the arms in front. And then come back up and over and come around into a seated position. Alright, as you come around into a seated position then, find a position that feels comfortable for you, somewhere you can rest for a few breaths. Let the arms open out wide. Bring the palms in front to touch. Now from here, from the elbows, just like we did when we were on the floor, can you bend and point the fingers up towards the ceiling? The thumbs might be kind of towards the forehead here. Notice the gap that you have between the elbows. And can you squeeze the elbows towards each other? Squeeze the forearms towards each other. So this is a variation of our eagle pose. This will probably be variation number 1. If you can squeeze the elbows in towards each other and the palms can stay in towards each other, variation 1. Relax the arms, roll the shoulders back. Okay. Take the arms nice and wide. Bring them back in. Bend the elbows, lift up. Forearms and elbows come in. So I want your right arm to slide up and over so that the right elbow is kind of connected towards the inside of the left, and now you'll find the back of the hands are connected. Now still thinking about the forearms here working towards each other. Release. Slide the left arm up and over, back of the hands connect. Does one side feel different to the other? Release. This time open all the way out, roll the shoulders back. Okay, so from here then, that's just 2 versions that we've done. So you've got the options to stay with those 2. Take the arms out, bring them in front, bend the elbows. Forearms come to touch, option 1. Option number 2, the right arm is going to come up, the back of the hands will come together. Option number 3 is going to be that the left thumb will come towards the nose and the right hand will come towards the front. From here, can the palms connect? The answer might be no. No is a perfectly valid answer. If no is your answer, you stay with the back of the hands. But this gives you that perfect little twisty tie of the arms. Take one more breath. Release the arms, relax and roll the shoulders. So now we know how that felt, that side. Let's try the other side. Take the arms out. Bring the hands in front. Bend the elbows. Forearms and elbows to touch. Slide the left arm up. Take it over the right. Maybe the back of the hands connect. Or can the right thumb come to the nose, the left arm come forward, and then you feel the palms connect. Regardless of the variation that you're doing, how does this side feel? How does it compare to the previous side? And then release the arms, relax and release the shoulders. Take the arms out, bring the hands in front, bend the elbows. So you know where you were. If this is your version, stay here. Otherwise, right elbow on top. Maybe it's the back of the hands, maybe it's the palms. From here, is there any chance that from the shoulders, you can lift the elbows up? Now, if you lift the elbows up by tipping the torso back, that's not what I'm after. I want you to lift up from the shoulder. One more breath. And release. Roll the shoulders out. Take the arms out. Bring the hands in front. Bend. Maybe forearms. Left arm on top and back of the hands. Or left arm on top and a full twist here. And then can you lift the elbows up? Again, does this side feel different? And it very well may be that you can do the twist on one side and not the other. It may well be that you can do the lift on one side and not the other. Notice. These are the things we need to notice. Release. Roll the shoulders back. Now your shoulders will be nice and juicy. From here you can start to practice eagle pose, or if you're doing this short practice, then come back down to the floor, grabbing a hold of the block that you had previously. Now we're going to take that block and you're going to place it down long ways behind you. Now as you place it long ways behind you, I want you to come down with the knees bent, the feet on the floor, resting your upper back on the block. Now if your head feels too much tipping back, you can support the head either on another block or you can use a cushion or a bolster. But I'd like you to have the arms opening out, one to each side. Take the hands to the back of the head. Pull the navel to the spine round and roll to one side. Move your block away and then come back with the knees bent, feet on the floor and the arms resting down by the sides. Before we settle in here, I want you to take again the little arch and flatten that you had at the beginning. And then start to incorporate the same arm movement. Inhale as you reach back. Exhale as you lower down to the sides. How does this movement feel different to when you first did it? Next time that you rest the arms down by the sides, pause there. And take that moment then to assess the shoulders, how they relate to the floor. And does that feel different to the beginning? Draw the knees into the chest, roll to one side, push yourself up and over, come into seated. As you find seated, take a nice deep inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth, inhale. Exhale. One more big deep inhale. Loud exhale. Resting here, body, mind, heart and breath. Balanced as one. Alright my loves, I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not already. If you're interested in full-length yoga videos, including one to support this practice, a full hour-long eagle pose class, then check out my Patreon. The link is in the description below. You'll unlock 17 classes by signing up today. What are you waiting for? And remember, my loves, that karma is only a bitch if you are. So be nice, be kind, and be the change that you want to see in the world.